I just want to.
What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's doing great tonight. Basically witnessing a jam-packed night from nothing but Knicks, hitting you from every angle, baby. We're hitting you with everything. You just had a great show from Josh, Tony Crow, and Steph, and now you're coming on to view the NBA report with myself, John, and Jose holding it down in the background on the ones and twos. So, yeah, man, definitely thank you for being here. What's going on, John? How you doing, brother?
Oh, man, everything's good like always, man. Looking forward to talking about the NBA because that's what we
That's
do.
right. We are here, baby. So, we had to start the show a little later because there was so much heat coming from that first show from these three. You know what? But hopefully you guys are entertained and are still rocking with us. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. And I want to say I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're going to try to give you a little bit of a different type of look today because there's a lot of trade stuff that's been happening. We just kind of want to review what's going on with that. So it's going to be a little abbreviated, the first part, but definitely, understand we are here and we are rocking. So to start off in the Eastern Conference, we normally give a little bit of a breakdown of the top team, the bottom team, and where our Knicks fit. So currently, the Chicago Bulls are at the top of the Eastern Conference with a 35-20 record. And the Orlando Magic are basically pulling up the rear with a 12-42 record. Not much has really changed for them. They're just losing, so the rebuild is real. Then our New York Knicks, who we know have been really struggling, been going through a lot right now. Tough losses, good fight, but they can't withstand the battle, man. They can't get through it. So they're currently 24-31 right now. And I think they might have even, if I'm not mistaken, I just want to double check. Did they drop one? No, they're still in 12th.
12th, yep.
Yeah. I thought they dropped for a second because I saw something last night that another team won. But no, their teams are just as bad as the Knicks, apparently. So, yeah, we're okay, guys, for now.
Listen,
anyway,
we've blundered 4 in a row, though. So,
Yeah, no, exactly. Listen, we're consistent in one way or another. I don't know. So I just want to get through this first part of stuff real quick, guys. Just more of a little bit of an abbreviated rundown of what's going on around the Eastern Conference and a couple Western Conference teams. There's a lot of streaks happening right now, a lot of streaks. So let's start off with the Southeast Division. The Miami Heat are 35-20 right now, and they've won 3 in a row, and they're basically atop the Southeast Division. Then you have, excuse me, let me just hit this correct. Okay. Boom. Wow. That's interesting. So the Charlotte Hornets are 28-27, and they're still in second place in the Southeast Division. I had to double check that because I was like, is this? Yeah, apparently. And they've lost 5 in a row, but they're still in second place. That Southeast Division is rough.
Yeah. It's
yeah. And then the Atlanta Hawks are 26-28. And they're pulling up third in the Southeast Division. So Miami, Charlotte, and Atlanta. What do you think about what's going on in the Southeast right now, John? Anything jump out at you?
The fact that they're, like you said, Charlotte, has lost a few games in a row and still hasn't lost any traction in their standings. I think that's surprising. But again, I think every team right now, we sort of knows what their identity is already. We sort of know what where they're at in the standings. I think the only teams that I'm thinking that may move up a little bit or down a little bit would be like the 76ers, maybe, I don't know, the Raptors, possibly Cleveland, those teams vying for the middle spots, like 4, 5, 6, maybe even 7. Those are the teams that I'm looking at. Those are the ones that I see sort of interchanging within the Eastern Conference. I don't see many of the other teams riding a wave or a win streak that will take them, somewhere in that area. So,
yeah, no, I agree with you. That makes a lot of sense because the East is, it's so muddy. Like it's a lot of parity, but now it's just muddy. Like I don't know what's going on right now.
Yeah.
In the Central Division, the Bucks are 35-21 atop the Central Division. They've won 4 in a row. They've been playing good ball. Chicago Bulls have basically taken over that second spot with a 33-21 record.
Tied with Cleveland.
Right. Tied with Cleveland. But the difference is they got the better head-to-head, I guess, because they're still kind of, I guess, percentage points ahead of them somehow. You don't see it on the standings, but I guess that's what it is. And the Chicago Bulls have lost 2 in a row. And Cleveland, 33-21 with the same record. They've won 2 in a row. So, yeah. What do you think about the Central right now, John?
It's basically what I've been saying. Those are the three positions. It's Milwaukee at the top, Chicago and Cleveland. But I think by the end of the actual calendar year for the East, I think you're going to see Milwaukee sort of top of the leaderboard, and then you'll have like Cleveland fighting with other teams to try to be middle pack. Fighting for a fourth, fifth, or sixth seed, something like that. So, I still see Chicago top three right now. I don't see them losing many games in that division. So I guess we'll see how it all pans out. But as of right now, I don't see. I will be surprised if Cleveland overtakes Chicago if Chicago stays healthy. But I could be wrong.
No, listen, man, listen. That's not far fetched. It's not far fetched at all. Because they, you know, Cleveland is looking good, and they pulled off a acquisition recently that we're going to talk about that may be
That's a
a
good
piece
point.
that's really going to help them out. So you might be right in what you're thinking there.
Right.
Now moving to the Atlantic Division, and instead of the just going through the top three, I'm going to mention a fourth team just because it's just crazy what's going on over there. Um, and let's just start off by saying our New York Knicks are in fifth place in the division. They've lost 4 in a row. It is what it is.
Bottom of the pack.
The bottom of the pack, yeah. Philadelphia is tops in the Atlantic Division right now, and they're at 32 and 22.
Right.
Then coming up right behind them is the Toronto Raptors, who are 29 and 23 in second place, and they've won 6 in a row. So they've been quite hot lately.
Right.
And then, interesting enough, Boston is right behind them in third place with a 31 and 25 record, and they've won 6 in a row. So both these teams are scorching hot. And then you got the Brooklyn Nets, which is the fourth team I wanted to emphasize.
Right.
They're in fourth place with a 29 and 25 record, but they've lost 9 in a row.
Yeah.
I know if you guys have watched the NBA reports in the past, I feel like I'm always talking about how good Brooklyn's been. They surprised us. They're doing this. They're at the top of it. They are in fourth place in the Atlantic with a 29 and 25 record now, and they've lost 9 in a row.
And
how quickly the tables turn.
There's so much talk about blowing that all up, especially with Harden. So I don't know. They can't seem to have everyone healthy and available to play every game. And I think that's where the Achilles heel lies on. And we talked about it. For that Brooklyn team, it's either championship or bust, and they're just going to have to move on from that entire idea of bringing all those, stars into one team. So we'll see.
Yeah, dude, I don't want to say I feel bad because I there's players on that team I don't like, but it's just like they're getting hit with the whammy. Like they had a great team last year. They were clicking on all cylinders, and then the injury bug hit them and basically took that season away from them. And then now you've got something where they're so up and down, and then these injuries, and then the Kyrie Irving thing, which they're still talking about that may get lifted soon. So who knows? And then maybe he'll be able to play home games as well. This is it's a crazy stuff going on. But so what do you think about what's going on with Toronto and Boston? Both won 6 in a row and hot like chicken grease right now. Hot.
They're putting together a nice little run. At least for the Raptors, Siakam is, I think he's just coming off a Player of the Week. He's been a Player of the Week for the NBA. And I forget who's on the West side. I think it was Ingram from the Pelicans. They were announced as Player of the Weeks. They're playing solidly. He's playing solidly. Siakam is, and what are you gonna do, man? They're being coached well. The young players are stepping up. They're playing a nice tempo of basketball. They don't seem to have that many distractions over there. Van Fleet, to me, should be in the discussions for most improved player. If not, somewhere he should be, given a little bit more accolades than he is right now. I know he made the All-Star team, right? Or did he make the All-Star team this year? I can't recall now.
No, he's a reserve.
Van Fleet, he's a reserve, right?
Yeah.
So that's sort of where I'm at. Like I would have thought that he would have gotten a little bit more traction, but he's gonna play a reserve role. So I think making an All-Star team is a big thing for him. So congratulations, Sam. But they're playing good basketball, man. I mean, and the Celtics, look, they were able to shift things around. I would have hoped to see our Knicks do the same thing, and I'm mightily disappointed in our Knicks because I felt like between the Celtics and our team, we sort of played similar basketball towards the first half of the season, but I think we may be running into the hardest schedule. So not too sure. I have to look at some of those games that Boston has won in most recent days to see if they've gotten into a schedule that's a little bit more, a lot more easier than what the Knicks are dealing with right now.
Right. No, I hear you, man. I agree with you. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting time right now. And you did touch on somebody who very interesting, who I think has been a big part of what Toronto has been doing in this 6-game win streak, and that is our Biz Marquee Player of the Week, folks. That is right. That is right, folks. Our Biz Marquee Player of the Week is none other than Pascal Siakam. You see him. This boy has been balling lately, man. Listen, the thing about Pascal Siakam is not to bring it back to the Knicks, it's the NBA report, but if we had Pascal Siakam on the Knicks, let me tell you something. I'd be like a kid in a candy store right now, John. Pascal Siakam is the stretch big. He plays good defense. He's slinky. He's got good handles. He gets to the rim. He sees the court. He's a good passer. Like, this guy's a jack of all trades, man. And really, he's probably the next line of star players. You know what I mean? How you right now you got, I don't know, the lineages like the Donovan Mitchells, the Damian Lillards, those guys. And then I think Pascal Siakam is that next line. He's a part of that next class.
Sort of a second tier player right now. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he's been a solid player for them this year. You know, he started off poorly. Let's not get it twisted. He started the season off not in great shape and did not play well, but has turned his season around. I'm really, this is sort of the hope that I have for Randle. You know, if we decide to keep Randle, if that's the decision that the Knicks take, I hope that somehow, some way, Randle is able to figure it out. But he won't figure it out if he keeps complaining to the referees. Like, that's definitely not going to help.
That is a fact.
That doesn't make any sense. Every game now he's doing it. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you on that. That's definitely
we should show a little highlight package while we're talking about Siakam's game, though. Let's see what he plays.
Yeah, let's see what we got here. Pascal, look at it. See, this is what I'm talking about. A little crossover dribble. This is a tall guy, man. Take you back and boom, pop. Like,
what is he, like 6'11", 6'10"?
Yeah, he's around 6'10", 6'11", and that's mid range. Then he hits you from outside with the three, bang. Yeah. This is my favorite move right here. Oh, come back. Oh, between the legs, hit you with the. Oh, look at the pass to Fred VanVleet. Oh, let's go.
You're a little too excited for my blood,
dude. I don't know. There's something about Pascal Siakam, man. I've always liked this kid. I guess it's because 2K. Because I used to chill with him. Oh, are we running it back?
Oh, run it back.
Look at this. You didn't see it the first time. Oh, watch it. Oh, step back.
That's a nice step back.
But
here's the thing, you know, like. Games against this is a highlight package against is this the Hawks? Yeah, they're playing against the Hawks there. You know, the Hawks don't play that much defense, so he'll have a little bit better spacing to play out of.
Right.
But you know, again, kudos to him. He's been playing well, so you know he's doing a great job. And yeah, like I said, he was Player of the Week for the NBA. He's our Biz Marquee Player of the Week. Well deserved.
Give it up for Pascal Siakam, folks. Yes, sir. So, you know, now that we took care of who our Biz Marquee Player of the Week is, we know it's a busy time right now, folks. Today is Wednesday. You know what Wednesday means? It's the day before the trade deadline.
3 p.m.
So a lot of Knicks fans are very upset because we haven't made any moves, and we need to make a lot of moves, but we haven't made any moves. So, you know, we're being patient with the process. We'll see where it goes. But
No, we're not. We're
no,
Knicks
we're
fans
not.
aren't.
I'm not. I know. I'm trying to be, politically correct. Yeah, we're okay. No, we're not. No,
We're
no,
not
we're
okay. We're not okay.
we're not okay. But there are teams that have pushed that button, and they've made some moves to kind of help their organizations, whether it be for actually acquiring talent, or maybe it's salary consideration, things of that nature to free up cap space. But there's moves being made, right? So hey, John, let's talk about the first move that took place, and that is the Blazers trade of Norman Powell for basically Covington. So this happened on February 4th. Now I'm just prefacing this, guys. There are trades that have taken. There's a couple of small trades that have taken place prior to this that we already know about. Cam Reddish is one of those trades, as well as another trade that might have happened. But we're talking about the trades that have happened right now during this period, where things are starting to rev up. So. The Clippers get Norman Powell and Robert Covington, and then the Blazers get Eric Bledsoe, Justice Winslow, Keon Johnson, a 2025 second-round pick via Detroit.
Right.
What do you think about this trade, bro?
Blazers were making room for, I think there was a couple of other trades happening, and this is their way of making a move and freeing up some cap space for them in order to grab a player from another team. So I think they were looking to get a couple of other players in the mix to play the rest of the season out.
Right. So this was kind of like the opening to kind of help facilitate the next trade. Yeah, they definitely they definitely had a plan in place. And see, that's what kind of frustrates you more as a Knicks fan. Watching teams who have a plan. What are you doing? You know what you're doing? What?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I'm not bitter. I am.
A little bit.
Oh, yeah, a little bit. So what do you think about the Clippers? What do you think about the Clippers getting Eric Bledsoe, Winslow, and Keon Johnson?
You said the Clippers. You mean the Clippers?
I'm sorry. I meant
the opposite.
The Clippers getting Norman Powell.
I think that's good for them. I mean, right now they're sort of banged up, and they're hoping that they can get their players back. But I think this is good for that team. That they get a little bit more senior leadership. Some guys who've been around the league for a while can give them a punch. I think this is a good move for them. They didn't really they didn't lose that much in this trade, so it's sort of an even-sided trade, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, the player here is probably, I mean, in my eyes, is Keon Johnson. Like, I like his. He could be.
He's young though.
Yeah, he's very young. So, but I think Norman Powell is a good pickup for them, and I always liked Robert Covington. So,
no, they got a good defensive player, and they got both of them a good defensive player. But I think Norman Powell gives you a little punch offensively, so it's good. Like I said, the Blazers made this move in order to free up space to bring in a guy. Actually, I'm gonna shout out Funky Gooseball, who just said Joe English is now a Blazer. So, making a move to bring in a Joe English.
Joe Ingles?
Joe Ingles,
wait,
sorry.
Is Joe Ingles the one that got hurt?
Is he? I don't know.
I think Joe Ingles. Yeah, I think Joe Ingles is. Maybe not. I don't know.
Well, they're bringing additional pieces there. Guys who can shoot, guys who can play some defense. So, they got Eric Bledsoe. He's. I don't see him, doing much over there other than coming off the bench, maybe, possibly. Unless they're trying to move him as well. Maybe they hold him down for a little bit. Maybe even waive him because he hasn't had a great season this year either.
Right. And let's see. Shohan Parvez said, "Yeah, I don't want Bledsoe." Now, my curiosity there: are you a Blazers fan, Shohan, or are you speaking from a Knicks perspective? I'm just curious as to what type of fan are you? I know you said Blazers are in a good position to start over. And David L says Lillard wants out. I bet he does. Yeah, there's a lot going on over there that is not necessarily what he wants to see. So interesting. And then just to piggyback on what you said earlier, John, with Ingles. Ingles is hurt. Yeah, so he is the guy that's hurt. That's what I thought. So it's a
Okay.
3-team trade, according to Funky Goose World. Maybe we'll find out a little bit more about that, in a little bit, hopefully.
Right.
Um, yeah, so that's basically that trade, and then the trade that happened right after this, and this is kind of the one that started to open our eyes, okay, because they put these guys out there early, and there was no movement, and that is the uh, basically, you know, it's Karis LeVert from the Cavaliers. And this happened on February 7th, guys. Karis LeVert and a 2022 second round pick via Miami. And the Pacers get Ricky Rubio, a 2022 first round draft pick, lottery protected, a 2022 second round pick via Houston, and a 2022 second round pick via Utah.
Yeah. I think this is a very good move by the Cavaliers. Um, you don't lose anything with Rubio being, he may be back now, but by moving off from Rubio, you solidify the way they're set up now, with Rondo, sort of playing a backup point guard role, and allowing for the young man to keep that position as a starting point guard. I think they're sound because now bringing in Karis LeVert, you know, they actually show up their bench roles a little more. They got a little bit more firepower. They got a guy who can go one-on-one, who can be in isolation and score a bucket, whenever they need one. I think this is a smart move by the Cavaliers, man. I'm a bit jealous, not gonna lie. I'm a bit jealous. But again, they allowed the opportunity for Garland to run the show there, you know what I mean, and be their legitimate point guard. Now, what they'll do with Sexton when he returns, it's sort of up in the air for me right now. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with Sexton, but they look good, man. Some
Yeah.
smart.
And the thing about it is, like you said, like this move is a real good move because you're taking care of a need,
Yeah,
and you're getting rid of somebody that you don't really need because Garland has stepped up and become that guy. You don't really need Ricky Rubio. Yeah,
right.
wow. It's nice. It's a nice feeling, I guess.
It's a smart move, man. And
Yeah, yeah,
the Pacers now would have to look at their roster and see who they want to stick with, and because that you're bringing in Rubio to play. I mean, that's a Pacer move, right? It was the Pacers. So
right.
now you got Rubio, you have Brogdon, and now you're probably going to talk about it in just a bit. So
I am.
I'll let you do that before we talk
Okay.
about it. So
All right. So then, the next trade up that happened was the Trailblazers, right? And so this took place on February 8th. Basically, the Pelicans get CJ McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell. And the Blazers get Josh Hart, Nikhil Alexander Walker, Tomas Satoransky. I love my chicken. I always sprinkle a little Satoranskis on it. Didi Lozada.
right,
Interesting. So, uh, hmm. Well, we'll get to that other trade that you're speaking of in a little bit.
right.
But this trade happened right before that. But so the Pelicans get C.J. McCollum, Larry Nance Jr., and Tony Snell, which I can see something happening there.
Uh-huh.
What do you think about the Blazers? What the Blazers get?
It's not enough, but
And,
again,
and I didn't even forget.
draft
They
picks,
also they also got a 2022 first round draft pick protected, a
right?
2026 second round pick, whichever is better between the teams. So that's a swap. And then they got a 2027 second round pick, whichever
Which
is
one was
better
better?
between teams. That's another swap.
This is part of the reason why Damian Lillard isn't excited about what's going on in Portland, because he doesn't see the direction in which they're going that's going to make their team better or competitive, at least for the next few years. And he's currently in a win now situation in his career, and it doesn't look like they're going in that direction. So, did the Pelicans get the better of the deal? Possibly. I like CJ McCollum. He's coming off of injury. Larry Nance Jr. is a player who I really like seeing, and I've seen him grow over the years. And Tony Snell, good, solid player. So Josh Hart is also a really good player, but you're only getting they're really making this move because of the draft picks, all the loaded draft picks that they get alongside with Josh Hart. Because I don't really know much about these other players, to be honest with you. I haven't heard much of Nickeil Alexander-Walker or Satoransky, to be honest.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, listen, man, it is what it is. I tell you, like these trades are pretty interesting, and Portland definitely seems like they're trying to blow stuff up over there.
Look
And
like they're trying to build for their future. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So
I hear you. And I just wanted to say, I just saw it. CWC said, I thought you couldn't trade injured players, basically. Yeah, man. Apparently you can. So that's another story. And then Dr. J said, is this Julius Irvin? Maybe not. Bro, this trade happened 3 days ago. I don't know if you're talking about this trade or the trade I read before, but as I said, I'm definitely reading off the trades that took place in a certain time period so that we can kind of lead up. These are the trades we know about that have happened so far throughout this current trade cycle going into the deadline. That's why we're covering it. But thank you for bringing that up. Appreciate it. Yeah, and then Finesseful J said, going back to the Cav trade, that Sexton is a free agent. Yeah, he's got that. It's his extension time. So yeah, they may let him walk. That's what might happen.
it's true.
Yeah. I think there's a couple of Lillard takes in here. May 4th said Lillard said he's staying in Portland. Lillard can say whatever he wants to the public. In a couple of days, he may feel a little different.
He's been saying that since he signed a big contract. So.
Interesting. Clyde Cromie says Lillard must be scared of the big stage. I don't know. Yeah, well, that's what's going on with those particular trades. And now I guess we'll get into the trade that kind of does affect the Indiana Pacers that kind of John was holding back on speaking of. Yeah, and the thing about that trade is I would say that this one is the one that hurts us as Knicks fans. This one hurts.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Oh man, the Kings and the Pacers pulled off a trade on February 8th, and the Pacers get Tyrese Halliburton, who many thought was untouchable. Oh, we were wrong about that. Buddy Hield, Tristan Thompson, who no one wants to touch, but that's besides the point. The Kings get Domantas Sabonis, Justin Holiday, Jeremy Lamb, and a 2023 second-round pick. Mm-hmm. Now, this was a nice trade for both teams. Right. I'm just, dude, I don't know, man. I'm really shocked that the Kings parted with Halliburton and decided to. It looks like, at least for the time being, they're keeping Fox. Right. So, what do you think about this, bro?
Well, this was the one that when I heard it, I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen it. I was like, what is going on? After all of the discussions that we've had or that we've seen reports on that we were sort of reaching out for a point guard and Fox was sort of in the conversation, we would have never thought to ask about Tyrese Halliburton. Like, seriously? He was on everyone's radar. He is supposedly a Tibbs type player. So I just don't understand this one bit. But again, the Pacers did, they're coming off a couple of good players. Domantas Sabonis is, a solid, NBA star. Justin Holiday is a solid player. Jeremy Lamb is also a solid player. And that second round pick, they probably could have gotten, well, I don't know. They are giving up Buddy Hield and Tristan Thompson. If that's what it took, then that's what it took. I wish the Knicks would have put in an offer of similar to what the Pacers had sent forward. But it's interesting, man. Again, relationships, man. You got to build these relationships across the NBA, and for whatever reason, it doesn't look like our guy Leon Rose is actually building a good rapport with other teams right now. I mean, this is what it looks like, in my opinion.
Yeah, dude, the fan base is destroying the Knicks organization and front office right now. Worldwide mess. That's like it's crazy right now.
What is he there for? What is
I
he
don't
there
know.
for? Not to mention, we just made another move to hire another exec and what is it? Some guy of player operations or something like that from the Timberwolves. Some sort of
Yeah, yeah, that's
like,
right. We
what's
we
the
we
need for
did.
that?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll mention that in a little bit. Um,
It's crazy.
so apparently, so according in the chat, looks like there's a hot take. I'm a Julius Randle you right now, David L. Who's your source? Where are you getting your information from? So apparently, the Kings wanted RJ for Halliburton, and we did right. We got slapped in the face, and with who we offered to the Kings, and that hurts. So
Definitely.
I mean, if that is true, and they wanted RJ for Halliburton, then I would have said no as well. But if
Right.
that's not, if we could have figured out another way to finagle this,
I mean,
because
you look at the players they offered. You couldn't have offered Randall Burks and maybe another person, couple of players, a pick or two,
quickly or
a couple of
somebody, I
other
don't know.
picks or two. Like, come on, like a comparable player to Jeremy Lamb. Like, you mean to tell me we don't have that? I don't know. It's weird. It just seems like they weren't coming in asking for who may be available. It looks like they put all their bucket at conversations around Fox, and they
Yeah.
still haven't made a move on that. So,
I mean, but I
we'll
don't
see if they
doubt that
will.
maybe it might have come up, and then maybe when they brought it up, because the Knicks one, or at least from what we heard, the Knicks were one of the first teams to kind of talk to the Kings, how they
Right.
made it seem. So maybe this stuff came up, and then the Kings came up with a different offer, and the Knicks didn't get that offer.
Right.
Maybe the Kings tried to hit the Knicks with something heavy, and then later they lessened the offer, but the Knicks never had a chance to even touch it. We don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, you don't know.
Yeah, we don't
It
know.
just seems weird. You know what I mean? And again, it could be. And to someone's point in the chat, I think it's P. Ramos. Sabonis is better, and they wanted him. Possibly, maybe they find Sabonis to be a better player than Randu. I mean, Randu's not doing himself any justice or our Knicks any justice by the way he's been playing for our team and the way he's been acting out. So yeah, that could be affecting sort of his trade value as well. I agree with that.
Yeah, yeah, that doesn't help. Thank you, Julius. Thank you. Anyway, and then lastly, at least these are the trades that we had already known about prior to what was mentioned in the chat. Lastly, there is the trade that the Thunder pulled off, this is a very small trade when you think about the other ones. The Thunder add KZ Okpala, right? So the Heat get a 2026 second round pick, and the Thunder get KZ Okpala, who I'm not that familiar with. I'll be honest. The additional agreement is they get the 2023 first round pick already owed to Oklahoma City from Miami has been amended to a 2025 first round pick, 1 through 14 protected. And if not conveyed, it turns into a 2026 unprotected pick. I love it when they hit you with all this, if that, and their statements. Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened there. KZ Okpala goes to the Thunder, and Heat get a 2026 second round pick.
Mind blown.
You know what I mean? I know you wasn't ready, player. I know.
Wasn't ready. Wasn't ready for all of those.
Hey man, it is what it is, bro. That's what they got going on, man. That's what they got going on.
Hey, that's where we're at in the NBA right now. And again, like there's sources they're saying, the Utah Jazz and the Blazers, right, are making a move.
Yeah, it seems like yeah, that's the Joe Ingles thing.
Right.
Yeah. So I'll see if I could find out a little bit more about that. But while I'm doing that, I think it's probably the perfect time because here at the NBA Report, we love to pay homage to our legends. John,
That's right.
you know all about this, brother.
Yes, we
So
do.
maybe we should talk about one of our legends now. What do you think?
I'm with it. Let's do it. All right, cool. This is Alex English, our guy. So definitely put up that card for us to read Alex English was the NBA's most prolific scorer during the 1980s and retired as the seventh leading scorer with 25,613 points after being underutilized by the Milwaukee Bucks and the Indiana Pacers during his first 4 years in the league. English became the most explosive member of a high-powered Denver Nuggets team that consistently ranked among the league's top scoring clubs. English dominated during the 1980s. During his 10 full seasons in Denver, he played in 8 straight All-Star games, won a scoring title, averaged more than 23 points in 9 years in a row, and led the Nuggets to 9 consecutive postseason appearances. Excuse me. I'll go back. And led the Nuggets to 9 consecutive postseason appearances. The sleek 6'7" forward became the first player ever to string together 8 straight 2,000-point seasons, and he led the Nuggets in scoring 7 times en route to become the franchise's all-time top scorer. Shout outs to Alex English. Yes, it is.
That's right. Alex English, NBA great player. That team had a lot of players that someone referenced them the other day, and there's a lot of guys in the team that I had no clue about, and they were really good players. But the one name that I did know was Alex English. As a kid, I heard that name, and I knew this guy had game. So yeah, definitely, Alex English is one of those players that came to play. He was an NBA, a throwback NBA player. And I think we might have a little video we can go to kind of see what type of player Alex English was. I mean, he was very old school with the Ponte shorts.
I love his release was super high, right? He had that high, very extended release, He didn't have any what some would consider to be a gooseneck. He kind of sort of stretched out all the way.
Right.
The way he tossed it up, so definitely extended outwards. But yeah, solid player, man. Scored buckets. He was one of my dad's favorite players too. My dad,
I'll tell you,
dad was a Knicks fan. He did enjoy watching Alex English, and
really? Wow.
Yeah, he definitely talked about him a lot.
I tell you one thing, the thing about Alex English, I mean, I know the young people out there that are watching, you may not know too much about a lot of these throwback old school players. They look a little funky. They're long, lanky. They got bandages and knee braces everywhere, but they were bucket getters. Let me tell you, they got buckets, okay? None of this, going, 3 for 18 and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't happen on a rare occasion, but these dudes got buckets.
Yeah, so, on the regular too. They were putting up numbers. It's interesting. They'd never seen a shot that they didn't like to take. That was one of another thing. For our team, we're sort of indecisive while we have like open shots in front of us. We don't want to take them. So
very true, very true. So I guess I think the so it looks like Joe Ingles is a part of that Portland trade for, that included Nickeil Alexander-Walker. And the Spurs, Juancho Hernan-Gomez. So it basically, this is it. Utah Jazz are acquiring guard Portland's Nickeil Alexander-Walker and the Spurs Juancho Hernan-Gomez in a 3-way deal. Sources tell ESPN the Spurs get guard Thomas Satoransky. I love the Satoranskys on my chicken. And a 2nd-round pick. And the Blazers get Joe Ingles, Elijah Hughes, and the 2nd-round pick. So this is kind of the trade that we talked about before, but it's broken down.
They added additional.
Corrected.
Some additions.
They added additions, correct. And it's really, I feel bad, man, because Joe Ingles has been kind of synonymous with that Utah franchise, and he got hurt, and he's out for the season when he tore his ACL.
Oh, wow.
And even Joe Ingles said, "Today hurts. I knew it was a possibility, but didn't want to believe it. We've been lucky to call this place home for 8 years. I got a lot more to say, but I'm going to have a beer and relax with some good friends. Go get a win, fellas. I'll be watching." Yeah, that sucks. That's like, that's like the residual damage that these trades bring to people. Like, you feel real bad. Some of these guys, like, they really care about the teams that they're getting traded from. I
Yeah,
saw that Josh Hart was at the Pelican game.
he was.
He wore Brandon Ingram's jersey to support him, and
Right.
this that's the bad part. That's the business.
That's an interesting team. I seen somewhere that was tweeted that, looking at the Pelicans of a couple of years ago, you had, Lonzo Ball, you had Drew Holiday with a young Zion and Ingram, and somehow they
Right? You
couldn't make
saw
it
that?
work.
That was crazy.
It's so interesting how quickly the NBA shifts, and if you remove one player or two players, you would then sort of lose your nucleus and then have to start over. So it's interesting. It's interesting. Again, we're Knicks fans. We know a lot about not staying true to our players. You know what I mean? And
Oh,
giving it time to marinate. We sort of want that instant gratification of winning now. And I totally get it. I'm on board with that too. I just think we need to have we need to find a better way of kind of figuring out what our direction is, and sort of being transparent about what our situation is and where we want to go, and then moving towards that in hopes to keep a few of our young players. I do like that there was talks about teams interested in Grimes, and that we were outspoken in saying that he is untouchable at this moment in time. I am happy about that. And I'm sure they are saying the same thing about RJ Barrett at this point as well. Because what was released was that we were open to moving on from some of our senior players like Burks, Fournier, Randall, Noel, and so on and so forth. Kemba being there as well. So let's see, man. Let's see if any of that is true, man. We got till 3 p.m. tomorrow. So my eyes are going to be peeled to Bleacher Report and other sites just to see what pops up, if anything.
yeah, man. If anything, I'm with you on that. And so, this is the thing. This is about this business, man. The other thing is David L. Put in the chat that Halliburton cried going to Indy. Matt Barnes said, according to Matt Barnes,
Dude,
which
2 weeks prior, they had him saying, like, he wants to change the culture, he wants to shift, and he's not for the losing and all of that. He said everything. I wish he was a Knick, man. I mean, he was like, still to this day, man, I'm like, did we make the right move, man?
let
It's
me
just
tell
like
you something.
crazy.
Halliburton must feel like this NBA is trash, bro. Because remember, he had all these good workouts, right? The Knicks were really high on him, and I think I'm not going to say that word for word, but I think he felt really high that the Knicks were going to draft him, right? He felt really good about it.
He
And
had the
then
jacket with the
yo,
blue.
you know what I'm saying?
he was
And
ready
then
to
the
go.
Knicks took Obi, bro, and then he was tight. And remember when we played the Sacramento Kings, that first game that we played them, he got busy.
He lit us up.
I
Yeah.
mean, so he was trying to prove a point, right? So now he comes out and he says what he says about, being there to help turn the culture around. And then you trade him. He must be like, yo, I hate the NBA.
This is the thing, because isn't he up for a contract too? Isn't he supposed to be
I
up
don't
for, or
know.
is he? No, because he's with Obi, so
He's
he's
the
got a
Obi
few
class.
years.
He's the Obi
Yeah.
class. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's fine. That's just it's
man.
wild. I don't know, dude. Listen, I don't know what's going on in Sacramento, but you never hear me accuse Sacramento of doing anything right. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know. Okay.
Look, more importantly, and I don't want to harp on much of this, but more importantly, and this is where I was trying to get at before, was like, what are the Pacers going to do now? They bring in Rubio, they have Bogdanovich, and now you have Halliburton. How are these guys going to play amongst each other? You see what I'm saying? So if I'm the Knicks, I'm reaching out. I'm just saying, I'm reaching out.
Well, I mean, there is already a lot of speculation that Malcolm Brogdon will probably be on the move when it's time for him to be on the move. So
I'm meaning like after the season.
Yeah, after the season, because it makes sense to keep a Halliburton. He's a lot younger. He can give you basically what Brogdon can give you. Maybe not as good defensively, because Brogdon is a really good defender when he's out there, but he can do everything else.
I'm telling you, the Knicks better hold true if that's the case, and go after that kid Brogdon, because he's the type of point guard we need.
I'm with you. Well, guys, I think it's time for us just to go into the Knicks a little bit with the our NBA back page, and this is about the Knicks and the trades and stuff that they pulled off. And good night, everybody. They haven't done anything. Take care of yourself. There's nothing to talk about with these Knicks. Just, I'm just saying, what are we doing? What are we doing? We've lost 4 in a row with a third quarter Knicks. We go out there, we give a little effort, we feel, give the fan base something to make them think that we're going to win the game, and we blow the game. It's a distasteful thing. I was watching that game last night, and I was upset that we were getting blown out, and it was maybe a minute, less than 2 minutes left, and I said, I'm cutting this off. I ain't even watching it. Then I'm looking at Twitter, and people are RJ got hurt, and now I'm mad. I'm like, what? I'm like, he got hurt in 2 minutes? Come on, man. Dude. What are we doing, John? What are we doing? Talk me off the ledge, brother. Talk me off the ledge, man.
I'm right there with you, my man. I mean, we both on the ledge together because I don't see a way that we can fix the season, that's for sure. So if we're not going to fix the season, let's just start figuring out where we need to land in this draft, because we need to start winning games soon. If we don't start winning games now, the season's a bust. I mean, we're 12th. So I understand the theory that, Washington is still, right in front of us and hasn't done much either, and they're losing. And I forget what other team is in front of us right now, and they're also, losing. The Hawks maybe. They're sort of, so the Hawks is Washington at 11, the Hawks at 10. And they all we're like a game and a half away from the Hawks, or maybe 2 games now. But again, to climb up to the 10th position for a play-in, I'm not sure if that's even worth it. Because what is it going to be, a play-in and out? What's the point of that? We did that last year.
You are right. That's a good point. I don't know what the point of that is. That doesn't make any sense to me. And this team is so backwards. They look so dysfunctional right now with everything that's going on with the front office and Tibbs. There seems to be a lack of communication, or it looks like from appearances that they're not on the same page by what's taking place on the court, as opposed to what the Knicks seem to be there, whatever their vision is. Then you're doing all this. We're making no trade headway. We're losing out on people we've targeted. Then they hire Gerson Rosas, who sounds like the old Giant kicker that
For what purpose?
I don't know what's going on. They hired him as a consultant. He just left a bad situation in Minnesota, cheating with a staff member. His wife didn't want to be with him. All types of crazy stuff is happening. And that's the guy you bring in. He's our problem solver. What is happening?
That's a friend looking out. That's what that looks like to me. And hiding that sort of personality or person in New York is sort of what we've been accustomed to doing, and that's not a good look. That is definitely not a good look.
And the funny thing is, Gerson Rosas is the same. He was the general manager. He's the one who fired Tibbs in Minnesota.
So hey, bring him in and fire Tibbs once more.
Hey, listen. I mean,
you did it once before. You might as well do it again.
Hey, listen, just don't worry about it. We'll take the heat. You just tell him, let him know.
Crazy.
Dude, this is crazy right now, man. I don't know. I don't want to talk about the Knicks right now. I want to wait till tomorrow and see what happens. Hopefully they do something that fits the team. Even if they don't make moves to bring in some superstar player, if they just do a couple little spring cleaning, man, get rid of some of these vets so that you can open up a little playing time for some of these other guys.
That's what we need to do.
That's what they need to do. At least that. We'll see, bro. But I figured we just go through the chat a little bit, see what's going on in the chat, say what's up to everybody. Thank you, chat, as always. Hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed already, definitely subscribe. And if you feel so inclined, head over to Still Knicks Fans and subscribe over there too, man. We appreciate you. We're trying to build. Someone said something in the chat that I wanted to address. Let me see. It was Jeremiah. Okay, there he is. Jeremiah Leal says he wondered if the Warriors would be in on trading for Marvin Bagley.
Warriors?
Yeah, Golden State Warriors. Do you see? Because he would like Marvin Bagley on the Warriors. Interesting. So my question to you is, you want Marvin Bagley, but then what's going on with the center that you guys have? I mean, I know Bagley's more like a 4, but the center that you guys have in Wiseman, like what's going on with him? I thought he was going to be coming back.
Yeah,
that's the thing. Yeah, so it looks like James Wiseman, 22 hours ago, according to the SB Nation Golden State of Mind,
right.
he has been cleared for contact drills. So Wiseman is getting closer to getting on the court.
Yeah, they'll just be that
So,
much more dynamic with Wiseman on the court. So
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I mean, I know, I understand you might like Marvin Bagley, and let me tell you something. Marvin Bagley goes to Golden State, he'll be a stud over there. All the bad stuff he did in Sacramento, they'll fix it all over there at Golden State. So you're right about wanting him. They'll turn anything, man. They turn vinegar into wine, bro. Like it's crazy.
Easy. See,
Yeah.
Bodega Wi-Fi put out something. He didn't fire Thibodeau. He was the Thibodeau was the GM coach, and Scott Layton was the president. I can't believe Scott Layton still has a job in the NBA. Rosas didn't get hired until the following year, he states.
Oh, thank you. So I've been hearing misinformation.
Yeah.
Twitter.
Stop spreading that. Stop spreading those.
You know what? Twitter's bad,
rumors,
bro.
man.
Twitter is bad because let me tell you, that's been in the narrative all day, and people have been running with it all day and in conversations and spaces and all types of stuff. I'm like, okay, Twitter, bad Twitter.
You know what's crazy is what stood out to me was Scott Layton still has a damn job in the NBA.
I can't even believe Scott Layton is still in the NBA in some capacity, dude.
That's
After
crazy.
what he did to the Knicks, he should never be hired anywhere, dude. Never.
That's
ever.
sad, man. That's sad.
So let me just say what's up to everybody that I can. 49ers and Knicks for life. Ty Dadan or Ty Dadan. Charlie Buck, listening party. Snipe Team 1X debut. Leo Lambert, Christian F, JW, Boron Jackson, David L, Denzel Cicero. Obviously we know Josh has been in the building in the chat holding it down. Geraldine McIver, salute to you. Shaw Powers in the building. Funky Goose World, you know we love Funky Goose World. What a name. My man Kanal Banlaya in the building. May 4th is in the building. Sin Nick, Hebrew Lion of Judah, what's going on? Knicks, we go hard, but we're going nowhere. I'm with you, brother. C_Mac is in the building. Justin L. What's going on, Justin L? Real cool dude, Justin L. Like that guy a lot, man. Queens Court is in the building. Steph holding it down. Let's see. It's a lot of man. This chat is active today. Quiet Money's in the building. What's going on, Quiet Money? Annuity 25. Hawkeye's in the building. Shohan Pervez, I mentioned him earlier. Deron Wayne is in the building. Dukes Rocks. Is that like a Kicks Rocks phrase? Dukes Rocks. Finesseful J is in the building. Eric Kang is in the building. Warren Franklin, CWC. That's Charlie Ward's cousin, for those of you who don't know. You know, gotta always show Charlie Ward some love, man. His cousin gets the love too. Why not? Dr. J is in the building. Not Julius Irvin, but another Dr. J. Akuma's in the building. Cameron Fife or Fief. I don't know, but you know what? I hope I didn't butcher that. Mikey Jones is in the building. Once a Nick, always a Nick. Now that's a name you gotta love, man. That's like Still Knicks Fans right there.
That's pretty much what it is,
you, brother.
That's pretty much what it is.
Appreciate you, man.
Because as much as we hate what's going on, we're gonna continue to root. That's what we're gonna do.
That says it all right there, bro. It says it all. P. Ramos is in the building. Flex Lefebvre. Okay, Flex is in the building. I'm gonna stay there with that. Steph, which is a different Steph, is in the building. Kevin McLeod, what's going on, Cornerstone Kev? He says, I'm so disgusted as a Knicks fan. I'm sorry, Kev. I know you're going through it, brother. I know you're dealing with it. It's going to be all right, bro. We're going to get through this. Daniel Sturgis is in the building. Stephen Okonkwo is in the building. What's going on? Yeah. Edwin NG. I know there's a way to say that, but I'm not going to mess it up. Kaiser Soze is in the building. Infamous New King is in the building. Miko Cam is in the building. Lawan 221 is in the building. And Mr. Lee is in the building. This sounds like an old 60s song. Mr. Lee, Mr. Lee. Okay. Don't mind my singing. I'm not here for that. And you're not here for it either. D. Grant is in the building. And guys, I'm not going to continue to go because there's a lot of names, but I just want to show a little love. You know, like I told you in the past, we try to appreciate you guys and show as much love as possible. But obviously, the names could go on forever. Manchild is in the building, and Jeremiah Leal and Bodega Wi-Fi are in the building. So, guys, I thank you guys for tuning in. Sorry we were a little later than our normal start time, but like I said, you were getting jam-packed content tonight from the Nothing But Knicks Network. NBK is in the building strong. Salute to the whole staff, the whole clan. We're all up in here. Steph, Tony Crow, Josh, Uncle Fulio. You got my man John, my man Jose. You got Ron. Still Knicks fans. We in the building. So continue to support us. We're going to keep coming back with more and more content for you guys. Thank you to Sim, the Podfather, for creating a network that we can all come to for Knick info, for NBA info.
Right?
It's like you getting everything now. So definitely, I hope you guys appreciate it. Keep coming back. John, any final words?
Man, stay blessed. That's pretty much what I could say, man. Stay blessed, stay healthy, and we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, sounds good, man. Definitely like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. Sign up for Nothing But Knicks. Sign up for Still Knicks Fans. We in the building. Our next show will be on Saturday, 11 a.m. That's a Knicks show. That's called Know the Ledge. It's freestyle, so people will be coming on. I'll be chopping it up with a bunch of different people, so check us out. And definitely continue to support Nothing But Knicks. Tomorrow is the NBA trade deadline. I guess it's around 3 p.m., right, John?
Yeah, 3 p.m. Either we're about something or we're not. So I guess we'll see.
About something or we're about nothing. And I think we're about fed up. Fed up. All right, y'all. So definitely take it easy. Jose, thank you for holding us down as always. We'll see you guys. And hopefully our Knicks do something, man. We need something. Give us something or take something away so we can play these young kids.
Something.
Yeah, man. All right, we'll check you on the next one, man. Take it easy. Run that.